So a little closer overview of the site, showing the location of the proposed dwelling in relation to the existing home. As you can see, the setback will be 50 feet from the center line. The existing setback of the home is about 70 feet, so it's just behind the building setback line. It should be noted that this is an old farmstead that was developed prior to zoning ordinance standards. There are other homes along the road that are also that were also developed before the zoning ordinance was adopted. You can see across the street actually that there is a home that is currently about 50 to 55 feet from the center line of the road, pretty similar to what the petitioners are asking for. It's considered a legal non-conforming structure. Next slide. Here we have a couple of photos of the existing dwelling and some of the associated buildings. The petitioner has indicated that some of the constraints on the property that limit the location of the proposed addition are the existing access drive and garage or shed that you can see there in the photo. Also the existence of existing ag field to the west or to the right in the photo. They would desire to, if possible, preserve those agricultural acres. And then in the back side, which on the other side of the photo, the septic system is in the yard, which would limit the location of the addition. In addition to that, they have also indicated that just the layout of the home and the purpose of the addition being to add a number one curb appeal, but also an entrance, a new, more modern entrance and flow to the home really necessitates the addition being on the north side of the house where they're proposing. The petitioners own approximately 21 acres of land in addition to the land that you see there in the photo. I think this slide we've pretty much covered, so you can skip this to the next slide.
Okay.
New Hartford Township has looked at the petition. The petitioners attended their meeting, and they have indicated that they have no comments on the request. Next slide. Criteria and findings. The Board of Adjustment should consider all materials and testimony, as always, before making adequate findings that support their decision. Staff analysis and draft findings support granting the variance. But if you decide to go the other way, you need to look at each criteria and come up with your own findings and rationale for changing that criteria item and that finding. Should you decide to approve the petition, staff has drafted 2 conditions for your consideration, which are included in your staff report. Next slide. That's all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we can move on to petitioner comments and public hearing.
Does anyone have any questions for Lou? I have one question, Lou. What is that a standard 4-rod township road? In other words, 66?
Yes, it is. It's it would be as far as I know, it's it'd be a 66-foot wide right of way, or 33 feet from the center line of the road for right of way, which is standard for local roads.
So their request would leave them still 17 feet from the road right away. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
They're
There'd
asking
still
50
be.
feet from center line.
Yep.
That's what I get. But at any rate, yeah, they're still quite a ways away. So yeah, I come up with 17. But yeah, depending on the center line of the road, it's not always the center line of the road. Let's put it that way.
It's true.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for Lou? If not, does the petitioner wish to make a presentation at this time?
I think Lou did a good job. That's everything we have to offer. I did notice though, in the report, in the packet, you do have the address listed wrong. So if that needs to be corrected for anything, you have 44174 and it should be 44175. But again, it's just adding functionality, value, and safety to the home. The way we enter the home right now is not safe and practical. And this is, like he said, we really want to preserve our agricultural acreage. So this is the best option for us to add on and increase the value of our property and our home. So thank you guys for your consideration and time.
Yep. Thank you, Rebecca. Okay. Is anyone wish to make a motion to open it to the public?
I make a motion to open it.
Okay. Was that Elizabeth?
Yes.
Okay. And is there a second to that motion? Anyone?
I'll second it.
Okay, who is that?
Jordan.
Jordan. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Jordan. Okay, the motion is made and seconded to open it to the public. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay. Okay, the meeting is open to the public to make any comment concerning this petition. Any input? The meeting is open to the public. Does anyone have any input? You can state your state your name and address if you do. And for the third and final time, is there anyone that wishes to come forward and make comment or input to this petition? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Phil so moves.
Okay, Phil has moved to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second.
Okay, Jordan, okay, I heard Jordan first, seconded it. All those in favor of closing the public meeting, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Okay, the meeting is officially closed to the public and open to discussion among the Board of Adjustment Commissioners. So any questions, any discussion? I had one question, Lou. I see that there was no comment other than the town board. Was there any other last minute comment from any of the neighbors?
No, we have not received any other comments on the petition.
Okay. Any discussion? We and you can choose to go through each finding. I presume everybody has gotten and read the criteria and the findings. Does anyone have a problem with any of the approval criteria? I looked through it all, and it says is a town road with very little traffic, dead end. They already are. They will still be 17 feet from the right-of-way line. In other words, that's the limit the town can plow snow or anything else. So that seems like a really good and safe distance. I think the other existing properties are also about that distance. If no one has any questions, is anyone willing to make a motion to approve this petition?
I second.
Okay, we need a motion first.
Oh, sorry.
Kelsey, I didn't
I'm
hear.
having a hard time hearing you.
Right, Kelsey, do you want to move to approve the petition as it's presented?
I do, yes.
Okay,
And
is that?
Mr. Chair, just
Yes.
to clarify, is that a motion to adopt the findings as presented and approve the variance with the conditions presented?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
And is, we still need a second, right?
Correct.
I second.
A second to the motion to approve the petition as it is written and with the conditions as stated. We need someone to second it.
I'll second it.
Okay, thanks, Jordan. Jordan has seconded it. Okay, I'll restate the petition now that we are moving to approve the petition as presented and written here with the conditions. Is there any discussion on this? If there is, I'm not hearing any discussion. So all those in favor of approving the motion as I stated it, say aye.
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 All
Aye.
those-
Phil
Okay,
says aye.
okay, I say aye. So I
Aye.
think it is unanimous. I heard that it was unanimous, so all have approved, they voted to approve the petition as it is written and with the conditions. The next order of business is. as soon as I find
Mr.
it-
Chair, don't forget
Yes.
to read your,
Oh, yes. Very good point. Let me find them. I know I saw them somewhere in big print. There they are. And this is a formality so everybody understands what's involved. The Board of Adjustment appeal to district court. All decisions by the Board of Adjustment in granting variances or in hearing appeals for any administrative order, requirement, decision, or determination shall be final, except that any aggrieved person or persons or any department, board of commission of the jurisdiction or of the state shall have the right to appeal within 30 days after receipt of the notice of the decision, and to appeal that to the district court in the county in which the land is located on the questions of law and fact. Any party that would like to submit an appeal to the decision rendered at the public hearing must do so to the district court. Planning and Environmental Services is not responsible for filing the appeal or obtaining representation by counsel for the petitioner. And then we will move on to the next order, which is BOA docket, January 21st, 2021, number 2, to consider the petition of Randolph J. Erdman in regards to the following. A variance to allow a new dwelling 760 feet from a feedlot instead of the required 1,000 feet pursuant to chapter 8.5.1, parentheses 1, parentheses C, and 10.4.4, parentheses 5, parentheses C of the Winona County zoning ordinance. Does staff have a presentation?
Yes, I do. Thank you,
Okay,
Bob.
Yep.
I think you did a good job introducing the item. So just to reiterate, the petitioner's asking for a variance from a 1,000-foot setback to a 760-foot setback for a new dwelling from an existing feedlot. Next slide. I have an overview here of the proposed property, which is outlined in kind of a light blue there. The feedlot is to the north and east of the proposed dwelling. You can see the 1,000-foot setback line on the map. I'd like to point out on this map also that the area to the south in the wooded area and on the lower part of the adjacent field there beyond the 1,000-foot setback is actually steep slopes and bluff. So those areas beyond that setback would not be buildable. There are also prime soils on the property, and they are actually building on those prime soils, class 1 through 3 soils, but they are exempt from that requirement because the parcel that they are building on is a parcel of record. And within that parcel record, the percent of the soils with over the entire parcel meet the exemption for the 40% ratio. So essentially, the soils do.
Hey, Lou, I don't know if we're for anyone else.
That was a previous petition that came before the Board of Adjustment, I think maybe a year or two ago, for another new home. So you don't see that on the map, but that home has been built since the aerial photo was taken.
Lou, Mr. Chair, I think had a question for you earlier when you cut out for a second.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. If there's a question, feel free.
I think that the earlier part about the adjacent parcel was missed by everyone, Lou. Maybe you could reiterate that about the previously granted petition?
Sure. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm kind of cutting out at all. But there is a existing parcel just to the east of the proposed parcel and the proposed dwelling. That first parcel to the east is about 5 acres in size. And if you'll remember, that was the petition of Jessie Erdman, Randy's daughter, to build her home. So that was also a feedlot setback variance that was heard by the Board of Adjustment and granted a year or two ago. This petition is Jesse's brother. This will be a home for him and his family. And I believe those are the only two siblings or children of Randy. So this would be the extent of what he's proposing for new dwellings, as far as I'm aware. If you have any other questions, please feel free to jump in and ask as I'm going through these.
Yeah, Elizabeth, I have a question. Where, I know it isn't on the map, but where is the Jesse's home?
It's in the small parcel just to the east, just to the right on the screen as you're looking at it from the existing home. So it's this notch to the right. It's about 5 acres, it's a smaller parcel. It's in the
Okay.
same field as what the proposed dwelling is.
Yeah. And I have a second question. Thank you. The feedlot, who owns that?
The feedlot across the street, it's another Erdman.
Weston Erdman.
Weston is the first name.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay,
Lou,
I
do
think we-
you have any ground level photos of this property?
I don't have any photos of this property, no.
Okay, I figured so, or they would have been there.
Next slide. Here's the overview of the property, showing the location. It is on Apple Blossom Drive on County Road 3, just north of I-90 and Nodine. Next slide. So the petitioners wish to sell 36 acres to their son in order for him to build a home. The neighboring feedlot is registered for a maximum for its capacity, which is 81 animal units. Anything over 50 animal units carries a 1,000-foot setback. So we are within the 1,000-foot setback requirement. Bluff and steep slopes, as we mentioned, are located on the back of the property. as well as the class 1 through 3 soils, which we already covered. Next slide. Richmond Township has received and heard the proposal, and they have indicated that they are in support of the request. We have also received a number of comments since the packet and the report went out that you should have received via email. There was one that was from Weston Erdman, the feedlot operator's attorney, that was expressing his opposition to the proposal. And then there were 3 from neighbors that were in support of the petition. Next slide. As with all of your petitions, the BOA should consider all the materials and testimony, including public testimony, before making findings that support your decision. The staff analysis and draft findings do support granting the variance. And should you decide to approve the petition, we have drafted 3 conditions for your consideration to be attached. And I think that's all that I have for the moment. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And otherwise, we can move on to petitioner comments.
Anybody have any questions for Lou? If not, do the petitioners wish to present any more at this time, and state your names and address for the record?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Vanessa and this is Jordan.
Okay.
The address that we're currently living at, because we don't have a house, is the 27467 County Road 3. The address we put on the permits is actually the address of Jesse Erdman, because that was the closest household to the proposed dwelling. So that's the 27361 County Road 3. We just wanted to, well, first off, thank you, Lou. You touched base on it pretty well, but we just had a few additional comments. We wanted to thank each of you for your time, and we wanted to just point out that we have had several neighbors reach out to us to congratulate us on our proposal to build. This is something that is very important to us, and we've worked really hard to get here. That being said, we very much believe in neighbors helping neighbors, and we do believe that Jordan and I have both demonstrated that in more ways than one to neighbors around us. We hope to purchase these 35 acres with hopes that our family can own and raise our own family within the country atmosphere, just as both of us have grown up. It is kind of a hard pill to swallow, knowing that someone who has a large family of their own, I'm sure has worked very hard to establish his own homestead, is trying to disrupt the dreams of a young couple just trying to do the same thing as him, living out their own dreams. Lou kind of touched base pretty well on the lay of the land. It's unfortunately not really in our favor as to where we can go with that. All that wooded area is very downhill slope. It's all forested. It's not buildable by any means. Our areas to place the sewer, we were very limited when we did our prelim soil test. As you can see where that blue dot is on the line, that's a heavily sloped area. That's unfortunately kind of one of 2 areas where the sewer could go, either one being at the very top of the flat ground prime soil, or right there, which is on the lower parcel, a little bit more slanted area. What else can we say? We don't really intend to ever compromise the integrity of this land. We do get a very good hay crop. We provide for a lot of family animals, so we appreciate keeping that to its best integrity that we can. We do believe that the land that we are building on will have no harm or effect on the Erdman feedlot. As you stated earlier, it is at its max capacity, so we don't know if it's possible to expand that at all. But if that's his reasoning for denying this request, we are just curious to hear from him how our build is going to affect the process of that feedlot. As to our knowledge, a feedlot is not able to move across a road. He does not own any land on this side of the road, so we're just kind of curious how this proposed dwelling will affect or hinder that by any means. We also wanted to point out that, as Lou stated, Jesse Erdman did build in that lower parcel there, and when she had her meeting, Weston was in denial of that build as well, and he did make a comment that he would like her to build over the hillside. I just kind of wanted to point out that where that proposed dwelling is exactly where he requested that she build. We actually moved farther away from the feedlot than what he requested. And so we're just kind of curious as to why it is now an issue if that was the location he was proposing she build when it was her time for that. And also, what else did we have here? I think that was pretty much it. We did want to point out there are 3 other homes within the county ordinance that were built within 1,000 feet of this feedlot, all on different sides of the roads. And to our knowledge, they have not hindered his ability to perform his duties that are called for within the duties of this feedlot. But other than that, that was about it. We just wanted to thank you all for your time, and hopefully you consider our need for building kind of where we're having to build. Kind of a lot against us here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions for Jordan and Vanessa? If not, we will entertain the motion to open the meeting to the public.
I make a motion to open the meeting to the public. Elizabeth?
Okay, Elizabeth has made the motion to open the meeting to the public. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Jordan has seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of opening the meeting to the public at this time, say aye.
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 Okay, aye. All those opposed, say nay. Okay, the meeting is hereby open to the public. Is there anyone wishing to speak for or against or to this petition?
I would like to speak.
Okay, state your name and address.
Weston Erdman, 27356 County Road 3, Winona, Minnesota.
Okay, go ahead, Weston.
Some of the same concerns I had last time were on house number 2. Was brought up by another neighbor that they're proposing to buy the farm to the east of me to build another house for another sibling. I guess I'm just curious if that is something in the works. Why can't their house go over on that property, which is not near my feedlot? And I guess I don't have any concern with them living next to the feedlot. Just the 2 concerns I have is, to my knowledge, if I would to expand feedlot, they've got right to refusal. And I don't know if I'm wrong on that, but that's just what I've read. And the other thing is, which everybody says they will never do, what if the house gets sold? Jordan's oldest sister was a house built by Randolph, and she sold that one. So never say never.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Weston? If not, is there anyone else wishing to speak for or against this petition?
Can we just add a comment to add some clarification for Weston? You're
Yes.
frozen, I'm
Yes.
not sure.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
I just wanted to let him know that the land across the road is no longer in the works. It was something that fell through and it wasn't
I think it's
in
frozen.
interest of the
Okay.
family any further.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak for or against? This is the final call. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to close the meeting to the public.
I second.
Okay, I didn't hear the first.
Oh, I make a motion to close the meeting to the public.
I'll
Okay,
second.
is there a second? Elizabeth has made the motion. Okay, Jordan has seconded. All those in favor of closing the meeting to the public, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. The meeting is hereby closed to the public and open to discussion by the board. And we can, I guess since there is, the township essentially has commented in favoring the proposal. There of, Lou, do we have, there is no more input letters or anything? I have all the letters downloaded.
I do have one one question, Bob.
Okay, go ahead, Bill.
Is our feedlot officer on the line in this meeting or not today? I can't remember if she was part of the audience.
Yes, she is, Mr. Schwanz.
Well, I'm looking for maybe an answer for Weston's concern if he wants to expand his feedlot. As far as expanding towards the highway, I'm going to refer it to because I'm not sure what direction that is. He really can't because of existing houses already, and so he would be able to expand in the opposite direction of the highway.
Carly, are you here? I don't hear Carly, but I can answer that question in the meantime. Carly, if you want to join in, feel free. But it looks like the feedlot, the way that it's oriented right now, could expand to the north or the northwest without needing a variance. If they were to expand to the south or straight to the west, it would get a little bit closer to existing dwellings. And in that situation, it would be them who would be applying then for a variance in order to get closer to neighboring dwellings. There's no right of refusal that Weston mentioned. The process would be the same as that we're going through right now. He'd apply for a variance if he needed to go closer, and he'd need to provide rationale for why that is and why he can't meet the setback as it's written in the ordinance. And if he meets the criteria, the Board of Adjustment would grant that that variance. If he does not meet the criteria, then it should be denied, same as any other petition.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chair, I think Carly McGinty, the feedlot officer, she had gotten bounced. She might be back on now too, in case there's anything that she wanted to augment what Lou had to say, which I think Lou covered it.
Oh, one question.
Carly, are you on now?
I can't hear something.
Can you guys hear me now?
Is
Yeah.
that Carly? Are you there, Carly?
Bring your headphones over here and see if you can plug it in mine.
Yeah.
I know.
I see her.
Give us
name.
1 minute, Mr. Chair.
What? I did have a
Just
question.
give us 1 minute, Mr. Chair. I
Okay.
think she's going to be ready here.
All right. Everybody take a 1 minute.
Can you hear me now?
I hear
Yes.
something.
Sorry, I had to jump to a completely different computer because mine wasn't working
Okay.
for some reason. So Weston Erdman could expand his animal units, but he would need a feedlot permit because he's at capacity for the permit that he has. Or he could expand with buildings as long as he's not encroaching closer to the existing houses. So I think
Carly, how many animals can you have on a lot without needing a permit?
so. He would, since he's registered and he's there, if he expands larger, it's considered a change of operation. So he would need a permit anyway to go any larger than he is.
I'm thinking in terms of the petitioners, if they wanted to have some animals, how many could they have without requiring a permit? Or me, for example.
50 animal units
You can go up to 50?
out of shoreland.
Out of short. So you can have up to 50 without a permit.
Correct.
Okay.
You just need to be registered.
Oh, you can register, but you don't have to go through any hoop.
Yep, you don't have to go through the permit.
Okay, very good. Answers that question. All right, let's see. Where are we? The meeting, oh yeah. We are in the discussion stage. And I guess it's up to the board to decide with all we've heard and all the input as to whether we want to go through the findings individually or whether you have issues with any particular one or anyone wants to.
Yeah, they're still talking. I can't hear anything.
Correction?
I don't know
Go
how to
ahead.
plug this in anywhere.
Who, I don't know who is talking, but go ahead.
That was Ann talking. I think it's background noise.
I am muted, now I'm unmuted. Okay, good. So what do you all want to do? Does anyone want to make a motion to either approve or disapprove, accepting the findings as stated? Or would you wish to discuss them more, or do you want to go through them one by one?
I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
Would they also need a variance for a dwelling on less than 40 acres?
You want to answer that, Lou?
Yep, I can answer that. Jordan, the entire parcel is 36 acres in size, but it's split into, there's a section line that runs down the middle of it. So it's split into two different parcels.
Okay.
The parcel that they're building on is actually, I'd have to look exactly what it is, but it's like 16 acres. And it is a parcel of record. So that parcel that they're building on has not been changed. It's been in that configuration since prior to the ordinance being adopted.
Okay.
So in that case, they're exempt from the minimum lot size of 40 acres and the CUP requirement.
All right.
So they don't need a CUP for this.
Right. Just to throw an example out there, if they were to build on the other half of the parcel on the other side of the section line, that parcel had been split when Jessie created her parcel and built her home. So that parcel is not a parcel of record. And if they were building over there, it would have been for a new dwelling on a lot of less than 40 acres and would have required a conditional use permit.
Okay, okay, thanks, Lou. Okay, does what do the other four members of the board wish to do? Do you wish to make a motion to approve or disapprove, or do you want to go through each finding?
This is Phil. I guess I would make a motion that we vote on the findings in fact in their entirety as well as the conditions, and I would vote that we approve.
Second.
Okay, Phil, it's a little bit garbled, but I heard you making a motion to approve the, go ahead, was that?
I don't know, you were kind of broke up on me too, Bob.
Yep.
So yes, my motion was to make a motion to accept or grant the variance based on the findings of fact as written, as well as the conditions.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I second.
Okay,
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth has seconded. Okay, I'll repeat the motion. Phil has made the motion that we accept approve the petition as written, along with the conditions. And Elizabeth has seconded that. Is there discussion? Hearing no discussion, I will call for the vote. All those in favor of the petition before us to approve the petition along with all the findings and the conditions, say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed say nay. Okay, I am hearing a unanimous approval of the petition as stated along with the conditions. Next on the agenda, if I can find it. Looks like the next agenda is to adjourn.
Mr. Chair, you don't forget to read the appeal notice.
Oh, you're right. It's hard to believe I could make a mistake. I thought I made a mistake once a few years ago, but I was wrong. Okay. Board of Adjustment appeal to the district court. All decisions to the Board of Adjustment in granting variances or in hearing appeals from any administrative order, requirement, decision, or determination shall be final, except that any aggrieved person or persons or any department, board, or commission of the jurisdiction or of the state shall have the right to appeal within 30 days after receipt of the notice of the decision to the district court in the county in which the land is located on questions of law and fact. Any party that would like to submit an appeal to the decision rendered at the public hearing must do so to the district court. Planning and Environmental Services is not responsible for filing the appeal or obtaining representation by the counsel for the petitioner. Okay, with that, we are ready to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
I think, Bob, you got to have a motion for that, and I so move. Did we have a motion?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Okay,
second that.
all right. The motion is made and seconded. All those in favor of adjourning, and thanks to the new members and every staff and everyone else. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, the meeting is officially adjourned. And thank you all.
Mr. Chair, this is Kay Qualley. So the next meeting, it appears, talking to Eric Johnson, our zoning administrator, and Lou and other staff members, that we will be meeting in February as well, and that the Planning Commission, if Jordan Potter's board liaison is approved, which I presume it will be, but that's the county board's decision, there would be a meeting that night then of the Planning Commission as well. And also would like to apologize, Ring Central has been giving us just a little more trouble than usual. I got bounced out of a meeting yesterday myself. So I appreciate everyone's patience as we work through this, because many times it works extremely smoothly. We had a few hiccups today, but everybody hung in there, which I very much appreciate. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, I think it went well, all things considered.
Thank all of you, all the staff.
Yeah.
Okay,
Goodbye.
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Bye.